And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2021 NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series Championship, hosted right here on NASCAR Heat 5. It is round 30 of 30 here for the 2021 season, and we have 16 drivers lined up ready to take the starting grid for what is the season finale, 150 laps at Phoenix Raceway. And we have the final four in the broadcast booth for pre-race interviews. Quickly, we'll talk to three of the four, one declining an interview, and we'll talk about why in just a moment. First of all, we're going to talk with the driver of the number 24, and that is Nick Don Francesco, regular season champion, 7 wins, arguably the favorite coming into tonight's race to win the race and the championship. What do you think of your chances? And without giving away too many secrets, what's the game plan?
Game plan is to get out front and stay there as quick as possible and as much as possible. So my chances are pretty high, so hopefully we can get it done tonight.
You've made the Final Four before in a NOSSCAR series. It was 2019 for the Motormaster Series back on NASCAR Heat 3. Do you think you have a better chance tonight at walking away the champion than you did that night?
A little bit better chance. I feel a little bit more confident in my abilities to get it done tonight. So let's see what happens.
Excellent stuff, and best of luck to you in tonight's big race, 150 laps at Phoenix.
Thank you.
And next up of the Final Four, we will speak to Jesse Carlson, the driver of the number 88 Ford F-150 for Steel Horse Motorsports. He's on the pole for tonight's race with a 27.443 on the preset sliders here with these trucks on NASCAR Heat 5. First of all, congratulations on the pole award. Congratulations on setting the new record for the most poles in a single season in Motormaster Series on Mondays as well. And what do you think of your chances here? It's a big night for you. You're in the Final Four for the Truck Championship.
Well, I think it'll go well and all that, and just make sure to stay up in the top 5 for stage 2 and 1 and all that. And just want to go out there and just drive and make sure to save most of my energy or whatever for the finish and all that.
You've definitely become the Chase Elliott here of NOSSCAR, in my opinion, and you're always up there on the road courses. But look at you now on the short tracks. You do have one short track win earlier this season. And what do you have what it takes to get it done here at Phoenix? How's the truck feeling for a long run?
Well, I have figured out that at Phoenix, if you use a looser setup, if you press hard on it, you're gonna make it tighter, and then you'll have to. And whenever you make it tight, when you have a tighter setup, the right rear burns up a little more, and so yeah, I'm just gonna play it safe for this race, and yeah.
Sounds like a good strategy call. Best of luck to you in tonight's championship event.
Thank you.
We're going to quickly speak to Alex Tesdahl, the driver of the number 98 Ford F-150 for Steel Horse Motorsports, teammate to Jesse Carlson. Alex, one win for you this season. You kind of arguably enter as the underdog here in the Final Four, the least amount of wins of the Final Four contenders, but you found victory lane twice in the Motormaster Series on Mondays as well, so it feels like I've been talking about you in victory lane a lot more than once. What do you think of your chances here tonight at Phoenix?
Truck feels pretty quick, and pretty much just keep it towards the front all night and see what we can do. Pretty much it.
It's a 1 mile it's a 1 mile oval, very flat, a lot of different grooves you can use, and the dog leg is going to be treacherous. If anybody watched the Motormaster Series Championship race last night, it was a wild drag race to the finish. What do you expect in the closing laps in this one? How do you think it's going to all unfold here tonight?
If it's anything like last night, it's going to be a wild one.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Wishing you the best of luck, and we're going to send you off to get in that number 98 Ford F-150 for your big race here tonight. Good luck to you.
Thanks.
And one last thing to the viewers, the only reason why we're not speaking to Beam SKP, the driver of the number 16 Toyota Tundra for Rockstar Racing rather, affiliated team with Juicy J Motorsports, is because he is the lone full-time driver, the French phenom out of France, and he is he primarily speaks French, and he does understand English, but he understands it a lot better when it's written rather than spoken. So just to avoid any of the language barriers that would be involved, he has declined an interview, but he is very, very excited about tonight's race. Doesn't think he's going to be super fast in the early going, but he thinks the truck is going to come to life over the course of the long runs, and he thinks he'll be there at the end in the final stage. Folks, that's going to do it for the pre-race interviews. We're going to send the final 4 drivers to whatever chat that they would like to be in for this event and wish them the best of luck at this time. The clock is going to be unpaused. We're going to start rocking and rolling here at Phoenix International Raceway. I'm NOSSCAR CEO Tyler McMurder, and we have a championship caliber broadcast team for this as well. Joining me in the broadcast booth, Ayrton Frederick, former NASCAR champion for the NASCAR Street Tech Series and the NASCAR American Muscle Series as well. Thanks so much for coming in here. Absolutely. You hold wins here in the NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series, so it's kind of become a special series for you, especially on the road courses. Won the New York 200 last year and won the race at Road America, I believe it was, earlier this year. What do you think the challenges, the biggest challenges rather, that these drivers are going to encounter tonight at Phoenix?
For me personally, anytime I run here, it's always keeping care of the tires. Oof mentioned that if you just run the setup one notch too much, it can really cook the right rear, especially on how flat the turns are. So you really got to turn it, and it could cook the right rear if you slide it out too much.
Yeah, I think that tire management is going to be the key here tonight for this one. I don't know how much these drivers are going to be able to save the right front tire. I was talking to a few of them before we began the broadcast. They were logging laps in the practice sessions, trying to find a way to click off fast laps but still save that right front, and a lot of them were having a tough time finding success in that department, and I don't blame them. I've run many races at Phoenix on the NASCAR Heat games, and it is a challenge all race long to match up the amount of time that the tires will last with the amount of fuel that you have in the tank. And we're going to throw it over to Cameron Norton, one of our 2 in-race reporters for tonight's race. Are we good to jump on in?
Yes, sir.
Phenomenal. Everyone, you'll see a blue screen for a couple of seconds here, but then we will bring you live coverage of the NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series Championship race here at Phoenix Raceway. 2021 season coming to a close tonight, and we crown a champion. 4th annual season for this special series that was started back on NASCAR Heat 2, and here we are on Heat 5, making more history and bringing it to you live on the NASCAR Series Racing YouTube channel. Confirming with Ayrton, you're in here. Excellent. And all right, on our way to the racetrack, folks. Phoenix Raceway has hosted a couple of very exciting championship races here in recent past, and we've seen a lot of them not only here on the NASCAR Heat 5 and Heat games here, but we've seen it in real life as well. It's a very wild track. The dog leg is always used. It does tend to shred up the right front tire just a little bit more if you use the dog leg, but it does tend to give you a tenth or two on the stopwatch. Here we are, and so it begins. 4 drivers trying to cement their name further into NASCAR history. The green flag has been shown. We're rocking and rolling for Stage 1. Stage 1, 45 laps in length. They're getting about 32 laps on a fuel run, but the tires I don't think are going to get that far. So we will see a green flag cycle of pit stops if it stays green for the entire distance of the race. They are on the preset sliders, 100% distance race, so 150 laps. Fuel and tire wear on ×2. With the stages on, top 5 receiving points unless they are a Final 4 driver, in which it's all about the best finishing Final 4 contender, highest finishing contender, and they will be crowned your 2021 truck champ. And we're watching a great battle already, Ayrton. Side by side for the race lead, Jesse Carlson in the 88, the pole sitter, draws alongside even with Josh Cole Diaz in the 23.
Yes, sir. Josh has been on the outside line basically since he got the tires. Jesse's not going to race him too hard. I want to roll out Jesse, trying to fight him off the whole into that lead and keep some cars between him and his double championship contenders.
Couldn't agree more, and it looks like the 23 is really trying to get the runs coming out of the corners. We saw Matt Smith, George Dorsek, several other cars in last night's Motormaster Series championship race using the outside line to their advantage, making it very tough for the car to be inside to complete a pass, and we're seeing the same, it looks like, here so far for the trucks.
We got 3 wide for 4th place and 3 championship contenders.
Woo!
Team SKP running in 4th, holding off Alex Hezal and Nick.
Good call. I just brought the cameras over to that, and you're right. Beam SKP is going to go ahead and soldier on to 4th, and now that leaves Nick Don Francesco and Alex Tesdall side by side for the 5th and 6th positions. And a good point, the final 4 contenders are running 1st, 4th, 5th, and 6th, and we saw them 3 wide there with each other a moment ago. Just behind him is Jason Armstrong in the 15, scored in the 7th position. And he's got Jeffrey Robinson Jr., the 51 as well. A little bit of contact made between Alex and Nick, the 98 and the 24. They're both still soldiering on side by side heading into turn 3. And battle for 2nd up here as well. Josh Cole-Diaz in the 23 trying to keep Aaron Garcia in the 26 truck behind him. Josh in the 23, 3 wins this season, but was shockingly eliminated early in the playoffs. But don't rule him out. Phoenix is one of his best tracks, and he's looking for his 4th win of the season. Perhaps going to steal the show from the Final 4 here tonight. Another driver trying to do that is Aaron Garcia in the 26, and it would be his first ever NASCAR win. He's come so close on many occasions, but Beam SKP, Final 4 contender, gaining ground on both of them in that number 16 Toyota.
Side by side for seconds, we'll hold up the whole Final 4 with the exemption of Jesse, who's running pretty good up front right now, but the thing I'm noticing is he's really running it wide in turn 1 and cutting down low for turn 2, and that's what really puts him forward.
Interesting stuff, and we know the tire management and tire wear is going to be a major factor in who wins tonight's championship. Early enough, Jesse Carlson driving away has opened up about a 10 or 11 truck length advantage over the battle for 2nd and 3rd. Josh Cole-Diaz has finally taken the spot back from Aaron Garcia. Just behind them, they're side by side for 4th and 5th. 2 Final 4 contenders going at it for that position there. Beam SKP, the lone full-time driver out of France. Nick Don Francesco, the 24 from Timac Motorsports, and the 24 Hooters Chevy Silverado, black and orange. Alex Tesdall.
Yeah, there goes Alex up the inside now.
Major run to the bottom. Hugging the yellow line with his left side tires. Beautiful turn there for the 98 Ford F-150 for Steel Horse Motorsports. And of course, Steel Horse Motorsports, the only team that has multiple drivers in the Final 4 here tonight. They might want to team up in the final stages of this race if they can help it. Right now, Alex is under fire from Jeffrey Robinson Jr. and Jason Armstrong, the 51 and the 15. But as for the other Steel Horse driver, he's got the lead and he's kind of cruising away with this thing. A little deeper in the field, Cameron Norton in the 3, up there in the top 10, having a good run, good start to the race. Rumble Strips in the 44. Right behind him in this group, along with the 2-time NASCAR World Champion from Gran Turismo Sport, the driver of the 18 Toyota Tundra for Rockstar Racing, and that's Trenton Krentz. Not too far behind them is the 13 of Dogman, the 52 of Scorpion up there in the top 15 as well. 2 drivers out of France in today's field, one of them full-time going for the championship, and another one part-time just looking to get some valuable experience and seat time behind the wheel. Good battle here between the ladies. Crew Monster in the 10. Caitlin Lohr in the 32. Going down the back straightaway now, heading towards turn 3. It's a battle for the 15th and 16th positions, if I'm not mistaken. There's battles all over this racetrack, Ayrton. Good stuff.
Yes, sir. Jesse's really pulling away now with that lead, and Aaron Garcia and Josh Cole-Diaz are still going after second. Josh on the back of the
There we go. I got a little lost there for a moment. Aaron Garcia in the 26 trying to hold on to that position, but Yeah, you're right. They're not allowing Jesse Carlson in the 88 to drive away, and actually Nick Francesco in the 24. It almost looks like he's reeling in the top three just a little bit. Final four contenders running in first, fourth, fifth, and sixth at the moment, with Aaron Garcia and Josh Colm-Diaz running second and third, trying to break up and spoil the Final Four party here at Phoenix. Everybody's still rocking and rolling in stage one. It is the 2021 NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series Championship right here on NASCAR Heat 5. It's the fourth annual season for this series. Started on Heat 2, and here we are on Heat 5, looking to make more history and crown yet another champion. We're guaranteed a brand new truck champ this year, and as of now, kind of looks like Jesse Carlson has things pretty well in hand. Things are looking good for the driver of the 88 Ford F-150.
Noticing that front bunch of guys are running a little higher than the and that tells me that they're starting to worry about the tires.
Little.
You're going to start thinking about how low these tires are going to push. And it looks like Aaron Garcia's starting to close on Jesse, at least going away from now.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's Jesse being careful with the tires, or if that's truly Aaron Garcia finding a little bit of speed out of the 26 truck, because it could be a bit of both. Honestly, Jesse very smart behind the wheel of these trucks, but also Aaron in the 26 very fast, and it's crazy how he hasn't found victory lane yet. So it could be a bit of both, and Josh Colm-Diaz maybe trying to ride in the draft there with the 26 to close into the leader as well. The gap about pretty much the same between all four of the top four. Maybe as I say that, Aaron Garcia inches closer yet again, Ayrton. We could see a battle for the lead here in about another lap or two.
Like I mentioned, Jesse's running really high in turn one, and that left him bottom wide open for Aaron to come in there. He's now on that back.
Is he ever? And he's going to take a lower approach through the dogleg now. Coming up on two trucks to put him a lap down, but I don't think they're going to catch him immediately. It might be another lap or two. And oh, the 88 just kind of twitched on my screen just a little bit. Jolted up right in front of the 26. Oh, wow. And Josh is going to take over the second place position because of all of this. And it might have just been an issue with connection on the 88's part. Holds on to the lead for now, and now his gap has opened up to a couple more extra truck lengths, and it's a new challenger running in P2, and that's Josh Colm-Diaz in the 23. I'm a big fan of that throwback Jimmy Johnson paint job that he brings to the track once in a while here, and he's running it again for the season finale tonight at Phoenix. It's one of his best tracks. Very good at these flat 1 mile tracks. He's good at Gateway as well. And yeah, he just seems to thrive here on these style of tracks where, I don't know, they're tough tracks. They really are. You got to be careful with the tires, throttle control, the whole bit. Draft is still strong enough to the point where it does play into a factor on who wins the race. Just, there's a lot going on at Phoenix Raceway, and we're seeing it so far here in this championship race. In fact, we're going to go back a little bit in the field. Alex Tesdall runs in the 5th position in the 98 Ford F-150, one of the Final Four contenders. And another Final Four contender, Beam SKP. Not too far behind him. There you see him in the number 16 Toyota Tundra. In fact, he's going to bring it to... He's going to pit this time by along with his teammate, Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51. Yep, so it has begun. They're going to short pit.
See how long these front guys stay out. See if that undercut works. If these guys from the back are trying to pull.
I wonder if it's going to force them to come to pit road right away.
Yeah,
they might see what's
Garcia.
going on. Yeah, and here comes Aaron Garcia in the 26. He sees what's going on. He comes to pit road. And this is going to begin the cycle of green flag pit stops. The only thing that might burn the drivers that have already been to pit road is if a caution comes out. They might be trapped one lap down.
So one guy goes, all of them go. We'll see if Jesse comes in. He's really good with tire management. So
There's Aaron. There's Alex. Several more. Jason Armstrong, Cameron Norton. It's a very busy place down there on pit road. There comes Caitlin Lohr, and she just went one lap down a moment ago to the leaders. Nick Francesco just in front of her, and yeah, pit road, a very busy place. It's going to be interesting to see where it all cycles out. There's Jesse Carlson in the 88 surrendering the lead. Looks like Axelbury in the number 52 truck stays out there for Rockstar Racing. He might actually end up leading a lap out of this deal before he comes to pit road. Only one truck out of the race and off the racetrack. It's the 21 of Robert Lohman Sr. leading his 15 trucks. Still rocking and rolling at Phoenix.
Josh Diaz stayed out that lap. He's basically the only truck on the circuit he's in this time around. We'll see if he jumps in the lead.
Oh, wow. Might have felt like a qualifying or practice session for him, because I think you're right. He might have been the only truck out there on the track, and other trucks coming in and out of pit road. And he surrenders the lead and comes down pit road before the cycle of pit stops began. He was running up there in second, so he'll have the freshest tires when all of this cycles through, at least amongst the lead lap trucks, or the front-running trucks, rather. So it'll be interesting to see if he can use those 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles and drive right on around them, or will the drivers that short pit undercut them enough to put enough distance between them so they just can't catch him before the end of stage 1.
I don't think he's gonna introduce Jesse yet.
Mm-hmm. Back to 4th he goes. Still, he's right there with the 24 and the 26, though, so he might be able to put these 4 fresh tires to good use. I actually kind of expected him to be a little bit further behind than that. But, yeah, still holding strong there, running in 4th. Cameron Norton in the 3, running in 5th, but he's in a wild battle here with Beam in the 16 and Alex Tesdahl in the 98. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51 right there as well. Jason Armstrong in the 15, not too far behind this battle. Getting a report, Trenton Krentz has an engine failure here tonight for the Phoenix finale, and that's a shame. He had a strong number 18 Toyota Tundra, had driven all the way up inside the top 10 there. You see him parked motionless on pit road, done for the day, and that's a heartbreaker for the 2-time NASCAR world champion from Gran Turismo Sport.
Great to see him doing so well. He's really progressed this season.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. In fact, he's found top 5 finishes in the Motormaster Series and the Tailgate Truck Series, top 10s in the Platinum Cup Series, and some of those actually on ovals, as you mentioned, not even just road courses where that's his bread and butter. So yeah, Trenton Krentz coming a long way here in a hurry on these NASCAR Heat games. Checking in on the front runners, Jesse Carlson in the 88 ran a very low line there through 1 and 2 to clear the lap truck. And Aaron Garcia in the 26 going to go with them. Nick Don Francesco in the 24.
Alex Tesdahl just got around the MSPT for 5th.
Great battles all over the track, and you're right, the 98 advances up to the top 5 now. And slowly but surely, Alex Tesdahl working his way forward. And we'll quickly throw it down to one of our in-race reporters, one of the final 4 contenders, Alex Tesdahl, the driver of the 98. How's the truck feeling, buddy?
A little bit on the tight side, but it is manageable. Probably come to us in longer runs, so not too hard to hit.
Good stuff. Good game plan as well, and wishing you the best of luck here for the rest of Stage 1 and the race. Good battle there with Beam SKP and Jeffrey Robinson Jr., the 2 Rockstar Racing Toyotas. Jason Armstrong, Cameron Norton, they make up the rest of the top 10. It's actually 5th through the 9th positions that you're watching on your screen, and we'll advance it back up to the front of the field. It's Jesse Carlson still leading the way. It's pretty much led every lap since the drop of the green flag in this one, except for during the green flag cycle of pit stops. Aaron Garcia still right there, just a couple of truck lengths back, and it's been a very evenly contested matchup between the 88 and the 26, and now we see Nick Don Francesco, the regular season champion. He's closing in as well.
Diaz on his back bumper as well. This top 4 is really bunching up. You can see a great battle from this team.
Absolutely. There's a little bit of front-end damage to the 24 Silverado. I don't think it's hurting the performance at all for him, but he might need to take a little bit of time on the pit stop at the end of Stage 1 to repair that damage. Could cost him a spot or 2 on pit road. Nevertheless, Nick doing a great job. 7 wins for him this season. and arguably his best chance to win a NASCAR championship so far. He's been with us since NASCAR Heat 3, and he's been winning races and contending for championships ever since. His teammate, Josh Colm-Diaz, in fourth, just behind him. Playoff driver, but was eliminated early.
There's a little bit of a run on the competition. He's going to go to the outside. Might cut him a break, considering he's a championship contender. But it's going to get interesting.
He does have the fresher tires by a couple of laps, Josh in the 23 does, but you're right, he might be playing nice there. It's his teammate in front of him, and he knows what's at stake for Nick DeFrancesco, and you know how it is when you're racing in these races, Ayrton. If you give up a position, usually you're losing a bunch of track time as well, and it would be about a half a second he would lose.
Just hit the inside wall in the dogleg.
Oh, yes, he did, and I saw that as well.
Connection. I think he's having connection.
Oh, no, I hope it doesn't come to that tonight. Jesse Carlson having issues. Now he looks okay. He's still leading the race. Aaron Garcia, Nick DeFrancesco, Josh Colm-Diaz, the top four. They're all running nose to tail. Very low line for the 24 and 23 through 3 and 4 that time by. But Jesse Carlson holding on still, and I hope that he does. It's definitely not the way that we want to see this championship race unfold here tonight.
7 to go.
And let's throw it down to one of our in-race reporters, Cameron Norton, the driver of the 3 Chevy Silverado. Cameron, you made the playoffs this year. It's been a successful season for you, and you were up there battling in the top 5 a moment ago, but I think that you've only dropped back because of your tires being older than the trucks around you. How's the truck feeling overall? What's your game plan for the rest of the way from here?
We kind of gambled and just took 2 tires, trying to get some track position. The truck really comes on the long run. But once it gets going, it's not fun to drive. But once it gets going, it's fun and it's fast, and I can catch people. What's
been the biggest challenge for you in this race?
Oh, track position. It's been the biggest. I see a lot of people fighting for it. That's like the game right now.
Side by side there, Josh in the 23. He just took the 3rd position away from his teammate Nick DeFrancesco. They're coming up on Caitlin in the 32. She's going to go up and let the lead lap trucks go. And just in front of this battle, we see a battle for the lead as well. Aaron Garcia in the 26 is right there with Jesse Carlson. Just can't quite get close enough to get alongside him. And he's running out of time. Stage 1 is almost in the history books here for the final race of the season. Round 30 of the 2021 NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series, hosted right here on NASCAR Heat 5 and live broadcast on the NOSSCAR Series Racing YouTube channel. Jesse Carlson looking to hang on to get the stage win and start the championship race off on a high note.
Back to the stop for Josh and Nick will have a chance at the leader, but Aaron Garcia, he's a hungry little driver, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him take a shot at Jesse here.
Wouldn't surprise me one bit, especially at the track that we're at, and there's so many different lines you can run. You can drive in pretty deep down on the inside and get it to stick for a bit. You'll definitely lose some time on exit, but there's a way you can get alongside somebody to try to attempt a pass here without being super close and without making contact either, and he's within that range where he might be able to put the nose of the 26 to the quarter panel of the 88 and try to take the stage win away, but I don't think he would want to do that knowing that he's a Final 4 contender just in front of him.
Jesse's definitely hoping that the 26 cuts him a break, because he'd definitely be frustrated if putting him along the last lap of just the first stage, but we'll see. 26 is close. All he needs is one good run.
Yes, sir. Only a truck length separating the two as they round 3 and 4, and I believe this time by they're going to take the white flag in the stage. We'll confirm. Oh, never mind. It's over. That was it, folks. And Jesse Carlson is going to claim stage 1. Aaron Garcia in 2nd, Nick DeFrancesco in 3rd, Josh Colm-Diaz in 4th, and it was a war for the 5th position. We'll throw it down to Alex Tesdall, the driver of the 98, and he'll repeat the top 5 for me.
NASCAR Oof, Landshark, NASCAR King Napa, and myself.
Ayrton, what did you think of stage 1, bud?
It was definitely feisty. Definitely interesting to see that two non-playoff drivers, Aaron Garcia and Josh Diaz, look to be definitely in contention to win this race. Jesse so far looks like the favorite, but it does depend a lot on track position. We saw pit stops. Josh never made up any spots back after dealing with flash tires. He got back around the 24, but staying out and losing track position might be a little too costly.
What an opening stage here for the championship race. We saw a little bit of everything, but the one constant that we saw was Jesse Carlson leading the race, unless it was a green flag cycle of pit stops. So does anybody have enough truck to challenge Jesse here tonight? It appears that he's got the truck to beat, at least early in the going. Let's see how it goes in stage 2. The green flag has been shown. We're rocking and rolling towards turn 1.
By second lead, Garcia should have a run on the outside there.
He does, and Josh in the 23 was running a similar line, was trying to go with them, and it was almost looking like a super speedway race where everybody was drafting, and he still has a big run up there. He's not giving up. Jesse trying to battle back on the bottom. He drove as pretty much as low as he could down there without hitting the inside wall last time by. And doing a good job, but it looks like it's going to be Aaron Garcia. He's going to complete the pass with the outside line. He takes the race lead from Jesse Carlson. And look at Josh Diaz in the 23. He saw what happened, and he's trying to make the same move work.
Jesse's now got a miracle of the 24 track as well. He's got to do his best not to lose his spot.
Yeah, it's hard when you get back a couple of spots, because not only are you trying to advance your position, but you got to play defense as well. If a truck behind you gets a good run, you got to block them or take their lane away. And now we have two non-playoff contenders, non-championship contenders, 1-2 right now in this race. Jesse Carlson in third, Nick Don Francesco in fourth. And how about Alex Tesdall in the number 98 Ford F-150, one of the final 4 contenders, all the way up into the 5th position. He finished 5th, actually, at the end of stage 1. Did not lose any positions under this wild restart for stage 2. And there he is in contention for the lead. He's right there in the lead pack and in the lead draft. Top 6.
Is getting stuck in traffic. He was running alongside Alex on the restart, but he got a little bump from Jason Armstrong. Put him back in his battle receipts.
Yep, top 6 have kind of separated themselves from the rest of the field just a little bit, not by much. And Cameron Norton in the 3, Beam in the 16, Armstrong in the 15. They're leading the charge for the second group of trucks. Rumble Strips in the 44 and Dogman in the 13 there as well. So Beam in the 16, after having such a strong start to the race, has kind of dropped back a couple of positions here at the beginning of stage 2. If it's a part of strategy, then good for him for disciplining himself enough to do that. But if it's not a part of strategy, then Beam needs to find a way to get some track position, and before the final stage, preferably.
He sees his championship competitors in that front pack, and he's got to be really wanting to get up there alongside him, but he's got 2 trucks to get around, and he's got to be careful to take care of his truck as he gets around him. But we'll see how smart or how cautious he takes it.
Very talented sim racer, had his own F1 2020 league for a while, and last I checked, before his season ended, he was 4th in the standings over there. A lot of drivers from Belgium and France in that series, and it was an exciting series to tune into every week, and he's become very talented here on these NASCAR Heat games. Bean has, as well as the Gran Turismo Sport game. Races full-time in NASCAR here in the Truck Series on Heat 5, and also in the NASCAR GT Cup Series on Saturday afternoons on Gran Turismo Sport. And he's come a long way in both series.
Nearly got to the inside of the Josh Diaz is coming back. He was running up in the second a couple laps when he ran way off the turn 1 and 2. Put Jesse back in the second. Now he's on the back with Aaron Garcia.
On his way back.
Tesdall up to 4th.
two Steel Horse Motorsports Fords that are in the Final Four are on their way to the front. Jesse Carlson on his way back to the front, and Alex Tesdall looking to get up there and lead for the first time in this race. He's now scored in the 4th position, as Ayrton just mentioned, and the battle for the lead is on. To the inside goes Jesse Carlson through the dogleg and heading towards turn 1.
6 is going to be way offline, but he might get a run on the exit.
You're right, Jesse's still there, but Aaron got a great launch coming out of turn 2 as they go into turn 3. He's going to be completely clear in single file. He drove in a lot deeper than Jesse did, but we've seen a couple of trucks doing that here tonight. We saw the 23, Josh Cole-Diaz, the 26 of Aaron Garcia is doing the same thing, and contact was made with the 88 and the 26, and the 26 found the wall as well.
24 slides up, 88's going to cross him back over. 88's way down to the inside.
Yeah, what's going on? Jesse lost control. He found the inside wall, I believe. I was wondering if it was maybe a connection issue or not, but I don't believe it is. He's dropped back now to the 4th position. He has Jeffrey Robinson Jr. to the outside of him. And things are not looking good all of a sudden for Jesse in the number 88 Ford F-150. He's got a little bit of damage from hitting the inside wall a moment ago. He's still right there in the lead pack, but he's lost some track position, and this is the deepest he's run all race long.
Their track is in second, and he's going to want to get around the 46 on the buffer back to 98.
Yep, and if everything were to end now, it would be Nick Don Francesco in the 24, your champion. He's running in second, and he's the highest running Final Four contender. 24, the 98, the 88, and the 16 are your Final Four contenders, so keep your eye for those 4 trucks. And it's Aaron Garcia and the 26, non-playoff driver, leading the race. Working stage 2, the final race, the round 30 of 30 here for the 2021 NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series season, hosted right here on NASCAR Heat 5. It's Tyler McMurder and Ayrton Frederick bringing you the action, and it's Alex Tesdall and Cameron Norton, our 2 in-race reporters. Thanks so much for tuning in and hopefully you're enjoying the action here at Phoenix Raceway on NASCAR Heat 5 on Tailgate Tuesday. It's the last Tailgate Tuesday of 2021.
He's gotten back up to point. He got around Jeffrey Robinson. I just let him ride.
Yeah, Jeffrey Robinson Jr., very respectful driver. He's former NASCAR champion on Supercross, and he's one of those drivers that knows what everyone's going through. He understands the magnitude of the situation that these Final Four are in, so he's giving plenty of room out there, and you can tell. So is Josh Cole-Diaz in the 23. They're both right there in this lead group, and I have a feeling that they've had a couple of runs where they maybe could have pulled alongside Alex in the 98 and Jesse in the 88, and they just didn't. So I think that a lot of these drivers are showing a lot of respect out there in this championship race.
The championship 4 are hoping that it stays that way all the way to the flag, because there's probably these drivers cutting the brake throughout the race. I saw that 10 truck.
The 10 truck of Monster lost control there a little bit, and she went up and found the outside wall. She's okay, a little bit of damage to the Silverado, but thankfully she's out of the way of the leaders, and we're going to stay green, it looks like, here at Phoenix, getting some seat time here tonight at Phoenix in the NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series. Whew, that was close. And back up to the front, Aaron Garcia in the 26 still leading, but man, he's right there now. Nick Don Francesco looking to the inside. This is coming out of 4, coming towards the start-finish line, and that was a big move there. He almost had him, Ayrton.
Almost had him, but 26 got all the way to the bottom of the dogleg. But here we go, 26 looked like he hit the wall on entry. That might be interesting. 24's going to just walk back in the line.
They're taking the corner very differently from each other. Aaron in the 26, he doesn't take the corner so aggressive and fast entering, and he can get back to the throttle later on and ride the high line out of the turn, it seems like, for more momentum and more of a slingshot and a launch out of the turns. Whereas Nick in the 24, he drives it in pretty hard, pretty fast, but he drives it in lower as well, and because of all of that, he can't get back to the throttle as soon as the 26, and that's where he loses them. So Nick in the 24 closes in, entering the turn, but then the gap opens back out to what it was before once they exit. They're very evenly matched, but just driving very different. And up the hill went the 26 that time. Yeah, definitely contact with the outside wall for Aaron Garcia in the 26. To the inside goes Nick Don Francesco for the lead.
26, I don't think he's going to have the run on the exit. 24 to the lead.
Wow, and that was wild right there. And it just goes to show you, even the fastest on the track can make an error every now and then. And if you're close enough to that driver that made the error, you can pounce and you can complete the pass. There goes Nick Don Francesco to the lead. First time all race long he's led laps. Regular season champion, 7 wins, and looking to win the championship here tonight. Final 4 contenders running 1st, 3rd, and 4th. And it's Beam back in the 8th position. There you see Beam in the 16 truck. So it's 1st, 3rd, 4th, and 8th for the Final 4 contenders. Just to give everyone a bit of an update on where the Final 4 contenders are running. Aaron Garcia not giving up as I check back in with the battle for the lead. The 26 looking back to the inside there on Nick as they were heading into turn 1 this time by.
He's not letting him go whatsoever, but 24 is probably saying back off, and I don't know, 24 is definitely hungry to just keep the track position to keep the buffer, but that 26 is very aggressive sometimes, so we'll see if he gets the levels.
He's doing everything right so far. He hasn't made any contact. He's been racing hard but clean as well, and I don't blame him. He's come so close so many times to get his first career win in NASCAR, and he's right here in the thick of things again, running 2nd, right up here with the Final 4 contenders. So I don't blame him for lifting and letting him run away. Oh!
A bit of contact, 24 up the hill, 26 is clear.
Good save by Nick in the 24, but you're right, new race leader again, and it's Aaron Garcia in the 26 back to the lead. And now if you're Nick in the 24, do you try to take the lead back, or do you maybe follow him, knowing you're in position to win the championship if it were to all finish now?
I'd follow him. We also got to think about pit stops. There are a couple guys going in right now, I believe, so he might jump him during the pit cycle.
Good point. And Alex Tesdahl, Cameron Norton, both to pit road. Actually, both of our in-race reporters. Cameron, how many laps to go in stage 2? How's the truck feeling, buddy?
Less than 18 to go, and the truck's feeling great on the long run. It's just the short run, we got to figure it out. It won't go on the short run, but once the long run comes to us, we are catching them.
Garcia jumped in the pits that lap.
Yes, he did.
Jesse Carlson as well.
Pit road, a very busy place. You see Josh Colm-Diaz, Jesse Carlson, Aaron Garcia, Caitlin Lohr. There's a lot of drivers on pit road coming for service. And this is where the pit crews earn their paychecks. Cameron Norton and Alex Tesdahl still stopped in their pit box. We'll keep an eye on some of the other contenders that are still out there on the racetrack. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. peels down pit road. It'll be interesting to see where everybody is when this all cycles through. Nick Don Francesco in the 24 surrenders 2nd place to come to pit road.
And he had a really good pit entry. If the 26 wasn't as clean, the 24 might be a part of it. 26 still in his box there, you guys.
We might see a new stage winner here.
Oh, for sure. Interesting to see where Jesse cycles out. He's back in the pack. Jesse, a little bit of contact there.
I saw that, and I'm hoping it's all okay. I wonder if he got loose trying to get back up to full speed over there. I know that when you're in first gear trying to leave pit road, it can get a little bit out of control on you, a little bit at times. He's still driving over towards the inside line. I'm trying to figure out and trying to get a gauge and get a read on what he's doing here. Maybe trying to feel the tires out. I'm not really too sure, but so far he's pointed in the right direction and up to full speed by this point. And we should mention that Aaron Garcia is in front of both of these drivers in the 26, and it looks like it's Jesse Carlson and Nick Don Francesco that'll be 2nd and 3rd once all of the pit stops cycle through. So the short pitting for Aaron in the 26 really helped him. And now the battle is on between Nick in the 24 and Jesse in the 88, and I believe that they pit around the same time, so they should be relatively even on their tires.
I believe Jesse came in the lap before, and it really helped him because he was a little further back in the pack, pretty sure. So up to 2nd, and he's got a track position. We'll see how much of a lock he throws on him in 24 to the inside.
To the inside goes Nick Francesco, and see, the thing is, the tires, they make a huge difference, so you are going to see Nick be a little quicker here, I think, on these.
Oh. 88 gave him the spot back.
I see that, and I don't think he meant to do that, so he offered the lift and give him the spot, I believe, and wow, that was a moment right there. That was close, that was dangerous for two championship contenders that both combined for a total of 12 wins this season. 7 wins for Nick in the 24, 5 for Jesse Carlson in the 88. Jesse Carlson started in NASCAR back on NASCAR 15 on the PlayStation 3 console, won races over there, and has moved forward with us to the PlayStation 4 console, the Gran Turismo Sport, and the NASCAR Heat games. He has become a Triple Crown winner here in NASCAR, holding the Platinum Cup Series, Motormaster Series, and Tailgate Truck Series wins, race wins in all 3 series. He's come a long way in a hurry. Very well could be his night to win the championship. They're all chasing Aaron Garcia in the 26. Short pit by a few laps there during this green flag cycle of pit stops, and we have about 14 or 13 laps to go in stage 2. Question is, could Nick Francesco use those 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles to run down Aaron Garcia in time to take the stage 2 win away, and perhaps give himself the best track position amongst the final 4 for the beginning of the final stage? What lane do you want to be in for the restart at the final stage, Ayrton?
If I had to choose, I'd take the outside. I prefer running the outside and just carry the speed all the way around the corner. That's just me personally. These guys all have different philosophies. As we mentioned earlier, Nick really rides that bottom eventually, so he'd probably be this one.
I think I want the inside too, just because I would take the entire, every inch of the dog leg I could all the way to the inside, but that's just me. You're right. Every driver's different, I guess. Yeah. And I feel a little bit here, being the driver of the 16 Toyota Tundra, not having the race he was hoping for so far in that number 16 Toyota Tundra for Rockstar Racing, one of the final 4 contenders. He's still in the top 10, still on the lead lap, still showing good speed and having a good pace here today, but it's just, I don't know, it just simply hasn't been good enough to be up there to challenge for the lead in this race so far. But there's a lot of laps remaining. There's a lot of time open for strategy in the final stage. We haven't seen any cautions for on-track incidents yet in this race, so if it stays green for the entire final stage, it very well could come down to some sort of pit strategy, and that's where Bean maybe could shine. He's got 2 wins this season, won the Brickyard 150 in the Indy Roval race for the Truck Series this year. He won just last week at Talladega to lock himself into the Final 4 championship race here tonight at Phoenix, and looking to become the first ever French-born driver to win an NOSSCAR championship here tonight. Just needs a little bit more speed before the final stage.
It'll be interesting to see. Usually he's a smooth guy, a smooth driver, really smart too. But this far back in the pack, he might have to change up his character a little bit and be not so friendly.
Maybe, or maybe take a big swing at the truck. I'm not sure, but yeah, wishing him the best of luck from this point forward. Wishing all the final 4 contenders the best of luck from this point forward. Alex Tesdall just completed the pass on Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51 Toyota Tundra. Alex in the 98 Ford F-150, one of the final 4 contenders, of course, and driving for Steel Horse Motorsports. I believe this puts Alex up into the top 5 now. We'll throw it down to the InRace reporter, Alex Tesdall. Find out how the truck's feeling here in stage 2. How's the truck going, buddy, and how's the race going from your perspective behind the wheel?
The truck is still pushing 22, but it's not terrible, and yeah, we're running good, so not too bad.
Just made a pass on Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51. Passing has been a little bit difficult, it seems, here in tonight's championship race. Strategy for the final stage without giving anything away? I'm winging it. All right, fair enough. Battle for the lead is on. Aaron Garcia in the 26, Nick Francesco in the 24. He's caught him with those fresher tires. It's probably about a 3 or 4 lap difference from when each of these 2 drivers pit, and there's plenty of time left in the stage, so it appears Nick is going to do what he was hoping to set out to do, and that's win stage 2, get that track position for the beginning of the final stage. Well, I'm noticing a couple of things here. If Nick can win the stage and restart with the lead in the final stage, and if Josh Colm-Diaz in the 23 completes the pass here for third on Jesse Carlson, which he just did, there might have even been some contact made between the two. Oh, Jesse's actually going to squeeze Josh up into the outside wall. Josh had one heck of a run up there. Josh is going to end up completing the pass now, but both trucks are going to get some damage out of the deal. I don't know, kind of looked like Jesse lost patience there and just drove as hard as he could, got back to the throttle maybe a little too soon as they were coming out of turn 2 that last time by, and the 88 Ford F-150 went up the hill way more than he wanted it to, and there was contact made. Both of them went up into the wall.
Ford outside of the 26 and 3 and 4.
Action all over this
really
track,
good.
Ayrton.
Yeah, 24 has really been on the inside all day. It'll be interesting to see. There he goes to the inside again. Interesting to see if it gets down to it, if he can make a move on the outside. But here he makes it in for the lead on the inside. 26 is going to try the crossover into 3 and 4. We'll see if he can get back by him.
Good old Earnhardt crossover move, textbook applied there by Aaron Garcia in the 26, and keeping it, I was going to say he's keeping it off the 24 so far here, and then I paused because I didn't think they were going to, but then they did.
Stage. 24 just took the stage.
Whew.
By a nose.
Idiots around come to the line.
You are not kidding. By a nose is right. Nick DonFrancesco wins stage 2. Jesse Carlson, one of the final 4 contenders, spun coming to the start-finish line. What a wild way to end stage 2. And wow, I didn't realize it was the final lap there. Nick DonFrancesco by a bumper, by a nose, edges Aaron Garcia coming to the line to claim the stage win. And this is crazy. This is big for him because if it stays green the rest of the way, and if he can get a good enough launch, he might be able to drive away from the other final 4 contenders. The next driver in the final 4 will restart at 4th, I believe. We'll throw it down to Alex Tesda up at the top 5 from stage 2.
Napa fan, Lanchard, NASCAR King, NASCAR Roof, and
Don't forget to pit.
I was going to mention that the 24 really showed a lot of patience. He was on that back bumper of the 26 for about 10 laps, and I was going to say he's probably waiting for the very last lap to get running, and that's exactly what he did.
Here we go. Final 4 contenders all up there in the top 8. The green flag has been shown. Final stage time. 1 stage left here this season. It's been a grind. 30 races, 4 months, and it all comes down to this. Who is going to be crowned the 2021 NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series champion? We will find out at the end of this final stage at Phoenix. Nick DonFrancesco with the lead. Aaron Garcia, non-playoff contender, looking to the bottom in the orange and white 26 truck. Minor contact made between the two. Aaron forces him high so Aaron can take the dog leg, and Nick couldn't, but Nick got the power down the straightaway with the outside line, and if the 26 keeps it low and keeps it clean, yes sir, Nick is going to power his way off turn 2 and complete the pass and take the lead back for the time being. Aaron settles into 2nd, Alex Tesdal into 3rd, Jesse Carlson in 4th, Josh Colm-Diaz in 5th, Beam, the driver out of France, one of the final 4 contenders, running in 7th. Final 4 contenders running 1st, 3rd, 4th, and 7th at this time.
Rolled up the hill, and the 26 might be alongside him. No, he's on his bumper.
Whew. Both those drivers very evenly matched, and the draft is strong enough here to the point where the truck behind the other truck will stay with them and get a run every now and then, so Nick might have his hands full for a bit as long as the 26 stays about within a half a second of him and stays within the draft.
24 didn't have a very good entry into that corner, and he's going to really mess up his exit. 26 might get to the outside. 24 throws a big block. 26 crosses back over mid 3 and 4. It's exactly as they finish the stage. 26 might get clear here. Yeah, he's clear.
He does. Beautiful textbook pass there by Aaron Garcia to take the lead. They were 3 wide back there for 3rd, 4th, and 5th for a moment. They settle back down.
Way outside.
Oh, you're right. Aaron Garcia went venturing way out there to the outside wall. Contact was made, and he's going to lose the lead to Nick Francesco. These two have traded the lead back and forth about 4 or 5 times now over the last 4 or 5 laps.
Down the front straightaway last time when the 26 cleared him, 24 just rode on his bumper, and Nick just pushed Aaron up the hill.
Nick has come to life in this race. He had a bit of a slump period in this season. He had 7 wins about 12 races ago, still has 7 wins. It's been a bit of a dry spell for Nick Francesco. Went over to iRacing and ran a lot of races there. Lost touch a little bit with the NASCAR Heat physics and the game itself, but here he is. You can tell he's practiced. You can tell he's ready. He's got the lead. He's doing everything he can to hold Aaron Garcia behind him, but the main thing going for him is he doesn't have any Final Four contenders in his draft or in his group battling with him for the lead, and that's the main thing. Even if the 26 truck passes him and wins this race, as long as Nick finishes in second, he knows he's going to be the champion.
And the 88 just got cleared the 98 for third.
He did.
These two work together rather than race.
Steel Horse Motorsports teammates fighting it out for 3rd and 4th there. Alex surrenders and lets Jesse take it back. Jesse arguably has the strongest truck on the track. He's just kind of mired in traffic at this point, but then again, Alex might have a strong truck as well, capable of leading, because he's been slowly working his way forward. And now Beam, the other Final Four contender, the driver out of France, has scored in the 6th position, and he's gaining ground on the top 5. They're all right there, Ayrton. Everyone's got a shot to win this championship amongst those Final 4.
It'll be interesting to see how the strategy plays out. If my notes are correct, it should be borderline one stop if you can really take care of the tires. I believe the stage is about 60 laps and fuel is 32, just the tires. If you really take care of them, you can one stop this final stage. If somebody tries to pull it off, that could be the championship.
I couldn't agree more. Question is, how hard are the tires wearing in those 32 laps of fuel that they're getting? And how much would they have to save? How much speed would they have to give up to save it? And is it even possible to save it without losing 2 laps or a lap? You know what I mean? They're definitely doing math while they drive here, trying to figure out what the best strategy is from this point forward.
Absolutely. That's what's so interesting about these leagues is you got to be your own crew chief, really. And I can tell you right now, the 24 is not worried about trying to make this a one-stop. He's just racing for that lead to keep the 26 behind him and between him and the other contenders.
Comes the 88.
Just about to say, M-Race reporter Cameron Norton letting us know, here comes that 88 truck. Jesse Carlson is coming back to the front with a vengeance, folks. He won stage 1. Nick Francesco won stage 2. The top 2 drivers amongst the Final 4 are back at the front and both in the top 3 with a chance to win the race and the championship. The only one in between them is Aaron Garcia in the 26, and he's been very respectful and humble about the entire situation.
He's on his outside now. We'll see how hard he fights.
Gotta wonder if some tire consumption is taking place at this point. Whoa, up the hill went Josh Colm-Diaz in the 23. He gathered it back up, but he's going to lose the 4th position to Alex Tesdall. Beam in the 16 had to lift a little bit from all of that, so put Alex up to P4. He's the front truck in the 2nd group. And to the bottom.
Cross over to the 24 now.
My fault for interrupting you, Ayrton. You saw it more than I did. Here comes Aaron Garcia in the 26 truck. What did you see? How did he get down there?
24 ran way up the hill in turn 2. 26 pulled basically the same move that Nick Francesco pulled to win the last stage. And just taste of his own medicine.
And both of them running the opposite line that they have been preferring all race long, at least from what I've seen so far. Kind of looks like Nick has been running the bottom most of this race. Looks like Aaron has been running the middle to top grooves most of this race, and that's when they're single file on their own. It's kind of where they naturally want to take their truck every time they enter the turns. But now the roles have been reversed. Nick is up on the outside, Aaron Garcia down on the bottom, side by side for about 2 straight laps here, battling for the lead, and it's allowed Jesse Carlson in the 88 to close in on both of them. The 24 and the 88 on your picture, on your TV screens or your computer screens. The 24 and the 88, they are the Final 4 contenders up there in the top 3.
88's loving to see this. Jesse definitely is thinking about short pitting now to try to jump Nick when we finally do get to time to pit. But if he can get around Nick before we even get to the pit cycles, that's a win for him.
Yeah, I think what it's going to come down to is what your tires are looking like at about the 30-lap mark of a fuel run, because as you mentioned, these trucks can go about 32 laps on fuel, but the tires going 32 laps, that's a whole different story. And you got to wonder if these drivers are going to try to stay out and one-stop it, or if they're going to run it as hard as they can and pit twice in this final stage. And if that's the case, if they're going to pit twice, it might be better to short pit so you can have more laps to use 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles. It's going to come down to that, really. If you're going to commit to a 2-stop strategy, might be best to short pit. If you're going to try to stay out for a 1-stopper, then take it easy and start backing it down now. I don't know. There's so much going on all at once. The top 3 have broken away from the rest of the field, and then it's Alex Tesdall in 4th, leading the second group of trucks, that parade over there, with Josh Colm-Diaz in the 23 right behind him in 5th. 3 wins for him this season, not a part of the Final 4 though. And then just behind him, Beam in the 16. He is a part of the Final 4, 2 wins this season.
Get a yellow, that throws everything off. And the last thing that any of these contenders want to see is see a yellow flag during the pit cycles.
I know who doesn't want to see one, and that's Nick Donfrancesco and Jesse Carlson. They have a pretty safe distance over the other 2 Final 4 contenders, and that is Alex Tesdall and Beam, the 98 and the 16. So if everything holds station and if this runs green all the way to the end, unless there's some sort of wild strategy when it comes to the tires and the fuel, it's going to be Nick in the 24 and Jesse in the 88 that are going to be deciding between themselves who the champion is going to be.
24 is just going to sit comfortably in second for now. Maybe take over tires a little bit.
Might be the way to go.
Traffic in the way. 26 gets around the 10.
Yep, they're all going to sneak on through. No harm, no foul, and that was a close call there. We didn't expect lap traffic to be too big of a deal here because later in the season, usually the truck count is a little bit lower. Drivers tend to not jump out there during the championship race because they don't want to be in the way, or they would rather just not chance it. Once the playoffs begin, it's a little bit of a more open space on the track. Sorry, I was getting distracted. Jesse Carlson, Nick Donfrancesco, neither one of them used the dog leg that last time by, and what that tells me is that they're trying to save their tires.
You're going to let the 26 of Aaron Garcia just wear out his own tires and fight this among themselves, and 88 takes a peek to the inside of Nick Donfrancesco, but doesn't do anything with it. It's a good run out of turn 4 though. Mike is the outside, but I don't think Jesse's going to race him too hard because he's a smart racer and he definitely likes going out pit strategies.
Yeah, I think that Nick in the 24, Jesse in the 88, I think that they raced a little harder than they wanted to at the beginning of this final stage because they were up there, and when you see the lead, it's hard not to push hard to try to get it, but I think at this point in the run, they're lifting more, they're trying to save more to maybe perhaps make it on one stop, and that's why we see Aaron Garcia in the 26 driving away the way that he is. I think that Jesse in the 88 is definitely saving those tires at this point in the race, and I don't know, if you're Alex Tesdall in the 98 or Beam in the 16, you might want to consider doing the same at this point, just simply because of how far behind the 24 and the 88 that you are. It's doubtful you're going to get up there and pass them for position over the course of the rest of the race if it stays green. So you might need to pull out some sort of strategy. I don't know, the laps are winding down, and unless anything drastic changes or unless any of these pit strategies unfold in a wild way,
26 is in the pits.
Then it's going to be Nick and Jesse going at it for the championship. And you're right, Aaron Garcia on pit road, and this is a very key moment here. As you can see, he's the very first truck to come down pit road, and therefore it's obvious that he was pushing harder than anybody else. Let's quickly throw it down to Cameron Norton to find out how many laps to go in the race.
We have less than 32 to go.
32 when you hit the line? All right. So,
Yes, sir.
yeah, so honestly,
Make it on fuel from here.
He can make it on fuel from here, but the tires, it's going to be a little bit tough for him. Here comes everybody else. Nick Donfrancesco, Josh Colm-Diaz, Jeffrey Robinson Jr., and Cameron Norton, Beam in the 16 as well.
Jesse stayed out, though.
He did. He did.
He's been short pitting all day. Interesting to see him choose velocity. He might be stretching it for the one stop.
He might be, and so is Alex Tesdall, perhaps, in the 98, his teammate there at Steel Horse Motorsports. And you can see Jason Armstrong in the 15. He's very good when it comes to the tire consumption. He often pulls off top 5 finishes whenever it comes down to that late in these races, and he's staying out on the racetrack for a couple of extra laps as well. See if we can find Jesse Carlson. He's still on the racetrack, so is Alex Tesdall, so that's 2 extra laps that they're able to go here, and that might be the key.
I can tell just listening to his throttle input and watching his line, he is taking care of those tires. He's not taking a dog leg, he's running high. I think he's trying to get that one stop in. Alex Tesdall in.
It might be the championship winning move, I'll tell you. And Alex Tesdall comes to pit road, so wow, Jesse Carlson really taking care of those tires. He was up there in the top 3, and he's still on the racetrack. Yet to come to pit road. Here he comes.
There he comes.
Oh wow, Ayrton, he looked pretty quick coming to pit road. I hope he didn't get a penalty, but if he did, that changes everything.
The 26 has really got Nick Donfrancesco, but Nick is really going to focus on where Jesse is when he comes out. We hope that Jesse didn't get a penalty, because that would be a shame to see it all down that way.
Absolutely, but if you didn't get a penalty, you're right. It's going to be the 24 and the 88 running up towards the front, and they're going to be going at it for this championship. The thing to keep in mind is Jesse Carlson has 2 laps extra of tires and fuel that might help him get to the end of this race, whereas Nick Donfrancesco in the 24, he might be a little bit in trouble. He pit with about 30 or 31 laps to go, and it's going to really depend on how far he can take those tires. If he can start to manage them now, then he might be able to run a little harder later in the run. You can see Jesse in the 88 coming out of pit road, and Nick is going to clear him and be ahead of him. That was to be expected. Nick short pit him by about 2 laps there.
Alex Tesdall, who stayed out just 1 lap less than Jesse did, he's falling behind BMSKP, but he's obviously got a lot more tire on that 98 Ford.
Yes, sir. Beam came in when Cameron Norton and Josh Colm-Diaz and several others did. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. as well, and that was in between when the 26 and the 24 came. So Beam 1 lap to the bad compared to the 24, and the 88 more to the bad actually to the 24, or the 88 rather. So much confusion and so much pit strategy unfolding here in the final stage. It's hard to keep track of everything that's happening, but as of right now, it's the 24 of Nick Donfrancesco leading the race. Aaron Garcia in the 26 was the leader, but as of now, Nick has the fresher tires over him, so he has taken that spot. But Jesse Carlson is not too far behind either one of them, and he's got 2 lap fresher tires than the 24, 4 lap fresher tires than the 26, so he's gaining on them, and that might force Nick in the 24 to burn his tires up more, trying to put distance in between himself and the 88.
And he's got the 26 pounding his back over. But the thing with Jesse is, even though he made it that far on the first tires, he's also got to save these a little bit too, just to be sure. So I won't expect to see him push at least till the very end if he has it.
Final 4 contenders running in 1st, 3rd, 6th, and 7th here in the final stage. Some drivers trying to use some strategy to their advantage to pick up the win and the championship here tonight. Alex Tesdall is one of them. Jesse Carlson is another. The 98 and the 88 teammates with a strategy here, staying out pretty long there, trying to make this a one-stop race for them in the final stage. Aaron Garcia in the 26 truck, I'm almost certain, is going to need to make a second pit stop if it stays green for the entire way in the final stage. But honestly, drivers like Jesse Carlson in the 88, they might be good to the finish from this point. And if he is, that is the move that won him the championship here tonight. Josh Cole-Diaz in the 23, 3 wins for him this season, runs in 4th. You can see him creeping closer into the picture. The top 4 all nose to tail, and what?
That has... Let's see if we can find what happened.
Wow. And we have a caution on the racetrack for the first time of the day, all race long. First on-track incident that has brought out a caution. I didn't see what happened. Did anybody else?
I don't see anything on the circuit.
Interesting stuff, and this changes everything because now everybody is definitely good to go to the finish.
Yeah, throw strategy out the window. Jesse's power play has just been erased, and now it's just a dash to the finish.
I think Jesse had the strategy call here to beat. If it stayed green the entire distance, you're right, and this is going to bring everybody back evenly matched here. They'll all be lined up double file close to each other. They'll all have the same level of grip and tires and fuel, and they're gonna go for it here. It's gonna be a war. It's gonna be a battle here for the 2021 NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series Championship. There's not many laps to go. The green flag is back in the air. How many to go, guys?
About 132 of 150.
So 19 laps remaining.
Sir.
Look at Josh Cole-Diaz rocket up the middle. He just got around Jesse. Jesse's really falling back into the pack, and Nick Francisco's got a couple cars in the buffer.
Bean falling back into traffic as well. He was in the middle of that pack back there. He was right in the center line, and he had to lift to get out of it. Aaron Garcia takes the lead in the 26. Nick Francesco back to second. Josh Cole-Diaz is in third. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. just lost 4th to Jesse Carlson. They're still side by side for it, actually. Final 4 contenders running 2nd, 5th, 7th, and 8th.
And Jesse did not get a good restart. The 23 truck just flew up the middle.
Saw the 13 of Dogman slide up into the side of Alex Tesdall in the 98. Alex found the outside wall because of it, and he's lost a couple of positions because of that. But we're going to keep our cameras on the front of the group a little bit if we can. Aaron Garcia trying to break away here to get his first ever NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series win. Nick Francesco running in second in the 24, trying to hold on to win his first ever NOSSCAR Championship. The next contender for the championship is Jesse Carlson, the pole sitter for this race, running in 4th, only about 8 truck lengths behind that 24 truck, but he's got a truck in between them that he would have to complete a pass on to challenge for the championship.
23 looks really racy. When the 23 got up to 30, the 24 threw a big block, and that really cost him before he lead to Aaron Garcia. So we'll see if Josh Cole-Diaz tries to get around his teammate.
And we'll see if Nick lets it happen too, because as you mentioned, they're teammates, and there's a lot on the line here for Nick Francesco. Gotta wonder if Josh is maybe just gonna fall in line and follow him, or if he's going to get aggressive and try to get that 4th win of the season. He's now looking to the bottom, so I guess we have our answer. As they go into turn 3, Josh is going to make a big move here for the 2nd place position. It's not what Nick wants to see, because it's going to allow Jesse Carlson to gain some ground back and battle for that 3rd position and for the championship.
Nick's going to try to force the way up the inside. 23 way up the hill, but 23's going to have the good line on the edge of it.
Yes, he is, and I can see the frustration building for Nick in the 24. He's trying to get the 23 out of his way so he doesn't have anything to deal with from now to the end of the race. Josh takes the 2nd position. It's one of his best tracks, so I kind of don't blame Josh for getting up there and trying to get the win, but at the same time, it's a teammate, and I don't know. There's going to maybe be words in the garage area if the 24 gets held up by the 23 too much longer, and there was more contact made there. Watching the battle for 2nd, while Jesse Carlson and the rest of the field gained ground on Nick Francesco and Josh Cole-Diaz.
Jesse has closed up with this big battle in front of him. Now the 23 of Josh Cole-Diaz might have a run down the inside of Nick Francesco all the way to the bottom. They are racing each other. They don't care about teammates. Josh wants the prideful 1st or 2nd place finish, and Nick wants to hold on to the championship, but Jesse's right on the back bumper of the 23.
Not making it easy, not giving up. It allowed Jesse Carlson to get there, as well as Jeffrey in the 51, Beam in the 16, and everyone has a shot to win this race still, it seems. There's not many laps left, but they're all still right there within striking distance. Actually, never mind, from this camera angle that I just saw, man, Aaron Garcia has really opened it up in the 26 truck, and everyone is busy battling for second behind him.
Things go the way they are, he will finally be a Tailgate Truck Series winner, and that would be great for him. But here comes Josh Diaz taking a peek to the inside, and he's not going to get him. 88's going to have a great run on the 23, though.
He is, and here he comes trying to use the run that he just got coming out of that turn, and couldn't quite keep it alongside the 23, but I think it's because Josh drove it in a little harder to try to stay in front and keep the 88 from getting side by side with him. But that allowed for the 88 to have a better exit coming out of turn 2 that last time by. And Jesse Carlson is going to take third place away from Josh Diaz, and that leaves those two drivers to battle for the championship, the 24 and the 88. Josh in the 23 not giving up, not making life easy for Jesse in the 88. Was trying to get back by him. Whoa, Jesse got a little bit loose coming out of turn 2. That most recent time by that allowed Nick in the 24 to drive away by about half a truck length. And so the battle for the championship is going to come down between Jesse Carlson in the 88 and Nick Don Francesco in the 24. If everything holds station as of now, Aaron Garcia is the leader in the 26. He's driven away from this group that we're watching. And the only reason why the 26 isn't getting a bit more camera time as the race leader is because we've got a championship to hand out here at the end of the night. We'll throw it down. 7 laps to go here at Phoenix.
Who's going to get it?
Well, I'm excited to find out. These drivers putting their heart and souls into this season. 30 races over the course of a 4 or 5 month period, and these drivers came every Tuesday with the intention to race clean and to go out there and showcase their sim racing talents, and they did just that. Here we are in the Final 4 championship event at Phoenix Raceway on NASCAR Heat 5, and we're watching a great battle for the championship coming all the way down to the wire between Nick Don Francesco in the 24, Jesse Carlson in the 88, and there's 2 trucks right there with them that are battling for position. It's Josh in the 23, Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51. The next Final 4 contender you'll find is Bean SKP, the full-time driver out of France, scored in the 6th position. And then you'll find Alex Tesdall in the middle of a hornet's nest back here with Cameron Norton. Around goes Alex Tesdall. No caution yet. Cameron Norton was involved. And Alex is going to get it pointed in the right direction and going again, and that's a tough break for one of the Final 4 contenders. If it stays green to the end, he will not be the 2021 champion. We're going to quickly get back up to the battle between the 88 and the 24 to make sure we don't miss any of the action. Whoa.
I noted 2 things. I've been watching this front pack. 26, his gap is closed quite a bit back to the 24. And the 88, that's closed a little bit until about that last lap. He lost a little bit of ground. But looking at the 88's line, Jesse looks like his truck is really tight, at least in 1 and 2. And we'll see if that plays a factor. But they are definitely closed back up to Aaron Garcia in the lead.
They have, so it's going to be a battle for the win, the race win, and for the championship, it appears. Aaron Garcia in the 26, maybe the handling going away a little bit for him. Hopefully he can hang on a little bit longer because, man, he's trying to become a NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series race winner. He's come close, so close on so many different occasions, the driver of the 26 has, but now he's got a mirror full of Nick Don Francesco in the 24. They're coming to 2 to go now?
Yes, sir.
Oh, goodness. So they're coming around to be on lap 149, and therefore they will have 2 laps remaining until we find out who the 2021 NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series champion is.
88 needs to run 2 perfect laps if he wants any shot to catch Nick, but Nick's definitely just going to probably remain steady in second, but he's getting real racing at that 26. Looks like a little bit of contact out of turn 2. Nick cannot ruin his championship hopes by wrecking himself racing for the win when he doesn't need it.
Exactly.
He gets to the inside of the 26 coming to the white flag. 26 makes the crossover in the 88. Might have a shot on this last lap.
I don't know how smart any of this was, because now it leaves the door open for the 26 to get a little racy and aggressive here for the win, and the 24 might be on the receiving end of something bad. And they're side by side through 1 and 2. Jesse Carlson has retaken third back from Josh Diaz. Oh, the 24 was really close to the wall. Some contact was made there. There's been bad blood between the 2 before. Really hope they can hold on to it through the final turn for the final time. Nick Don Francesco comes to the line. He's going to finish second to Aaron Garcia, but he's going to win the 2021 NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series Championship.
What a finish. Photo finish for the win, and Jesse just a few truck legs off the 24, but great race, great season for everybody, but Nick definitely earned it with those 7 wins early in the season. Finally ended a little bit of a drought. Got second, but it was probably the best second of his life.
Gotta hand it to him.
Napatan got the win.
Oh, he did?
By at least the fender, what we're showing it.
Oh my goodness. So, okay, make sure you take photos of the results. Coming to the line, it looked like the 26 had it. Wow.
I agree, but it must
24 got it by 2/1000ths of a second.
2 1,000ths. Oh my goodness, 2 1,000ths of a second separating the 24 and the 26 coming to the line. So 8th win of the season for Nick Don Francesco. Aaron Garcia, another runner-up finish for him and a heartbreaker for him coming to the line. Raced the 24 truck hard but clean as well, knowing that he had a lot on the line for the championship, but still wanting that first win. And the drag race to the line, it was Nick Don Francesco in the 24, pulling off the impossible. He wins here tonight at Phoenix, and he's going to become the 2021 NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series champion, a championship he's wanted to win for many years. Congratulations to Nick. A total team effort there. And a fantastic race by all of these drivers. Great run by Beam and the number 16 Toyota Tundra for Rockstar Racing. Coming into tonight with a shot to win the championship as well. Good run by Alex Tesdall in the 98 Ford F-150 for Steel Horse Motorsports. Had a good chance to win the championship as well. Spun late in the race and kind of ruined his chances. Contact was made with Cameron Norton in the 3. And we saw a wild battle for the race win between about 4 or 5 different trucks, 2 of which were a Final 4 contender. Nick Don Francesco pulling it off. He wins the race, and he wins the championship. Post-race interviews coming up in just a matter of minutes.
Was it quiet?
And let the post-race show begin, folks. It's time to celebrate. Crack out the bottles of champagne and start blaring the music, folks. Nick Don Francesco is your 2021 NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series champion. And it was a long, wild season for you. 30 races, 8 wins. You broke new records this season for yourself as a driver, but for the series as well. You've come so close a few different times to winning a NASCAR championship. You've finally done it. Tell us what's going through your mind right now. Tell us how it feels to be crowned the champion.
Oh my God, dude, I can't believe it. I feel like a kid in a freaking candy shop right now. I just can't thank everybody on this team, you know, hard work throughout the season. It's got a lot's going on in my head right now.
Good battle there between you and Aaron Garcia in the 26. What was going through your mind battling with him? Were you trying to take it easy knowing Jesse in the 88 was not too far behind you? Or were you just destined and determined to take that lead no matter what, even if it cost you?
I was going to hopefully let it ride to the end, like 1-2 or whatever. But then I saw Oof was catching me a little bit here and there. So I had to go for it. And that's how I ended up taking the lead from him.
In stage 1, it almost looked like the 88 was the truck to beat, really, and maybe the 26 the second best truck. Were you taking it easy for the beginning of this race, or did you need to make some adjustments to bring that 24 truck to life?
To be honest with you, I don't even know. The truck was just phenomenal the whole race. I think I made 2 adjustments because I was a little bit tight during the middle of the race, but other than that, no big adjustments to it. Solid truck all night.
Was there any point in this race when you thought, oh no, that was it, I just gave this thing away, or did you stay confident throughout the entire event?
I stayed pretty confident once I got by Oof, and then I knew Oof was going to be a challenge, and then once I got by him and started taking off a little bit, then I had my confidence started boosting up a little bit at a time.
We only saw one caution all race long for an on-track incident, and it came at a very key time in the final stage. It broke up the cycle of pit stops so everybody would come in again and be safe to make it to the end of the race. If that caution didn't come out, were you good to make it to the end of the race on the tires and fuel?
I think I would have had to make one more pit stop there at the end if that caution does not come out. Which I'm kind of questionable because I'm not sure what happened to bring it out. But anyway, stays green. I think Goof wins that championship, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we're scratching our heads as well for why the caution came out, because we were looking around the track trying to figure out what the yellow came out for. So if you do end up finding out, please let us know. Even our in-race reporters didn't see anything. But solid run for you all race long. As you mentioned, the 24 truck was fast, ran in the top 5 for most of this race. Did the 98 or the 16 worry you at all coming into this race? And how hard was it to complete passes once you were back there in traffic?
I thought the 16 was going to be the truck to surprise everybody, to be honest with you. And, I mean, when I was back there in traffic at the start of this race, I mean, I was flowing through everybody like they were standing still. So I think it just had speed right off the start, to be honest.
Now that the race is over, I didn't want to ask too much about strategy and all that during the pre-race show, but what was your game plan coming into the race tonight now that it's all said and done?
I was going to split the race up in half. The stages, I think it split up in half. And then I think I was going to try to stretch the fuel or tires as long as I could. They're at the third stage, but I was just enough to get there. And then the caution came out and changed everything. So once that caution came out, I was going for it. There's no stopping. No slowing down.
No brake pedal at that point. 8 wins for you this season, and you've won a lot of NASCAR races in your career as well, not even just in the 2021 calendar year. So seasons past for Cup and Motormaster, you've won a little bit of everything everywhere. Where does this win stack up and rank up compared to the rest? Is it number 1 since you're the champion?
Oh, definitely number 1. I'm not going to forget this moment. Not for a long time, anyway.
And what kind of momentum does this give you moving forward? We know that you race now on iRacing a lot, and what does this do for you as a driver? Does it boost your confidence from here on out?
Oh, yeah. It's definitely going to bring a lot more to the table than before when I was just out there running for wins and points and all that. So this win's definitely huge in a lot of ways for this team, for Timac Motorsports, pretty much everybody.
Is there anybody you would like to give a shout out to that may have been watching you race tonight?
I don't know anybody who was watching, so probably not. But I'll shout them out anyway, whoever you are. Whoever that mysterious person is.
Congratulations. You are the 2021 NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series champion here on NASCAR Heat 5. Go ahead and celebrate with your team. You deserve it. Good job.
Thank you.
And do we have Jesse Carlson in the lobby?
He declined an interview.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to throw it over to the driver of the number 98 Ford F-150 for Steelhorse Motorsports, Alex Tesdall, one of the final 4 contenders here tonight and has been an in-race reporter for the majority of our Truck Series races this season on Heat 5. He's done a great job at that. First of all, congrats on making it to the Final 4. You put yourself in a position to win a championship. You've never made a Final 4 before for a NASCAR championship. What was it like out there for you, and what did you think of the race overall?
It was a pretty good race overall. Probably had I don't know, second best maybe among the final 4 if we could have got the track position. But yeah, I don't know. 15 frickin' sending it and wrecking us. With like 6 to go, cost us any shot we had left. So thanks, dude. But yeah. Yeah, pretty disappointed with that.
2 wins this season in Motormaster, 1 win this season in the trucks. Overall, it's been a pretty successful 2021 calendar year for you in your NASCAR career. What are your plans and goals moving forward for the Platinum Cup Series? And overall, with this truck season, how satisfied are you? You're going to finish in the top 4, rather, in the final standings. Was it your best season to date? Overall, how proud are you?
Yeah, overall pretty proud of the season. Probably best I've had in my career overall, points-wise. And looking at Cup, maybe go grab a win or two. I don't expect a championship run there, but I don't know. Pretty disappointed with how this one finished.
Overall, congratulations on a successful NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series season, and I'm just sorry that it wasn't your night tonight, brother.
Thanks.
And we'll quickly throw it over. We'll check in with our buddy Cameron Norton, the driver of the number 3 Chevy Silverado. Made the playoffs, did not advance his way to the Final Four, but had a successful and strong season from start to finish. You were up there battling in the top 5 at one point in this one. You slipped back to the bottom half of the top 10 later in the race. Excuse me, but I think it was mostly just due to some strategy during the pit stops. Overall, how was the race from your point of view, and how was the truck feeling?
I believe he is absent.
All right, no comment then. No comment indeed. And, all right, it's time to wrap things up a little bit here. Let's throw it over to Ayrton Frederick, my partner in crime here in the broadcast booth here tonight. Ayrton, what did you think of tonight's championship race?
Oh, it was amazing. I was really glad I came in to commentate with you. It was nail-biter to the very end. The photo finish, couldn't ask for a more picturesque finish for a championship race. Just great racing by everybody. Only one on-track incident bringing out a yellow. It was a very clean race. Shame that a couple of contenders got taken out at the very end, but still really exciting stuff, and it was a great way to end what was a really good season.
We saw a lot of drivers that were not competing for the championship up there battling for the win a lot in this one, like Aaron Garcia and Josh Colm-Diaz and a few others. How do you think that they conducted themselves and handled themselves up against Nick Donfrancesco, Jesse Carlson, and others?
It seemed like early on, first 2 stages, they were really clean, just letting the championship 4 run their own race, and if something was given to them, they took it. But we saw at the end there, Josh, he got real aggressive, got around Jesse at one point. Kept it clean, but definitely were not as forgiving, I guess, the championship 4. And then obviously we saw Aaron Garcia door-to-door with Nick Donfrancesco. So they did great. The non-championship guys, shout out to them for keeping it respectful, but also keeping it entertaining.
Oh, entertaining is a perfect word to describe how the 2021 Truck Series Championship race went here tonight on NASCAR Heat 5. Is it what you expected, Ayrton? I expected a couple more cautions than what we saw. We only saw one of those. Is it what you expected coming into this one?
I was expecting a few more, but you can't say I'm disappointed with the green flag run with the stage breaks. It's good to have those long runs in between. So definitely satisfied with how it ended up going.
Always an exciting way to cap off a season here at Phoenix International Raceway. Thank you so much, Ayrton, for coming in here to the broadcast booth. You did an amazing job, and it was an honor to call this race with you tonight.
It was an honor as well.
And special thanks as well to Alex Tesdall and Cameron Norton, the driver of the 98 and the 3 trucks, being in race reporters for the majority of the season, doing a terrific job at that, letting me know what's going on out there, especially during a green flag cycle of pit stops. Without a leaderboard and a lap count, it's very tricky sometimes for a broadcaster to know what's going on, and they did an amazing job filling me in and filling in the blanks whenever I had a lot of blanks. And that's going to do it, folks. 2021 NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series season is in the history books.
We do have Jesse Carlson in here now.
Okay. And we'll throw it down to the driver of the number 88 Ford F-150 before we wrap things up for Steel Horse Motorsports, Jesse Carlson. Jesse, you won the pole for this race. You won Stage 1, and it appeared that you maybe even had the strongest truck in this event early in the going, especially in Stage 1. What unfolded after Stage 1 that kind of changed the complexion of your race?
Well, there was the inability to be able to pull away and all of that, but I tried. I gave it all I had, and when Stage 2 and Stage 3 came around, it didn't really help. I was just trying to keep up with Napa, but whenever that caution came out, I knew that turned the tables, and
yeah, we saw you. I was just going to mention, we saw you stay out a couple of extra laps there. Were you good to get to the finish on the tires and fuel you had if it stayed green?
I mean, I probably would have been able to do it if it was hardcore saving, but still don't know why the caution came out. My guess is 2 people hit the wall on accident and it triggered the game to throw the yellow.
Yeah, it's the only thing I can think of, too, because we didn't see anything happen out there on the racetrack. Everybody was quite spread as well, so we were shocked when the yellow came out, and it threw a wrench into everybody's plans at the end of this race. When you saw the caution come out, did you make any adjustments to make it a short-run car to try to beat that 24 truck, or were you confident after that caution came out that you had him?
Well, I made adjustments before the caution came out while I pitted it, and I just made it too tight and made the truck undrivable.
5 wins for you this season, most of which came on a road course, but a couple of them came on a short track as well. Overall, how do you rate your performance here tonight at Phoenix, and overall, how do you rate your season as well?
Well, as far as the season, I'd say I did pretty good. I just came here to race and try to be up there and all that. But with the race tonight, I guess you could say I basically went downhill. But like I said, I gave it my all, but it didn't end out that way.
Giving it your all is all you can ask for, and I would just like to say congratulations on a successful season. 5 wins for you. You'll finish second in the final standings, and you came this close to winning the championship here tonight. Good luck next year to you, and keep on rocking and rolling in the NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series on Fridays. You've already got a win there, and you're locked into the playoffs on Fridays, so keep going in that direction, buddy. You're doing great.
Yeah, GG everyone.
And that was Jesse Carlson, the driver of the 88. And we would also like to give a quick shout out to the driver of the number 16 Toyota Tundra for Rockstar Racing, Beam SKP, the lone full-time driver out of France, the French phenom, one of the final 4 contenders here tonight. He will finish 3rd in the final standings this season after getting I believe it was a 6th place finish in tonight's Phoenix race. The race results will be posted on the website, and everyone will have to tune in to see where your favorite driver finished in the final standings later on after all of this. And thank you to everybody who tuned in all season long. It was a roller coaster from start to finish, from the Tailgate 250 at Daytona all the way here to the championship race at Phoenix. 4th annual NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series season, hosted on the NASCAR Heat Games, and another one in the history books. It's Nick Don Francesco hosting the championship trophy at the end of the night. First ever NOSSCAR championship. He is your 2021 truck champ. From all of us here at NOSSCAR, from the bottom of all of our hearts, thank you so much for tuning in all season long. So long, and until next year, stay fast, folks.